Welcome back to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark, joined today with Frank Tropiano and Anthony the Heel Romano. Boys, today we are talking about another wrestling premium live event. This time, Wrestlepalooza, quite the name. Five-match card. It looks pretty fun. I just looked at the card here for the first time a little while ago. A little surprised. It'll be a little bit more than five matches because it is Wrestlepalooza after all. Frank, start off with you here. How do you feel about this card Saturday? The excitement levels? How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's interesting. The stakes are so low in these matches. I don't think it didn't hit me until you sent us the match card earlier and just said, like this is what we're going to be going over later. There's really, I don't know. It's a lot of blood feuds and not a lot of like championship matches or things that are going to affect long term. So I'm really interested to see how this plays out, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of the more entertaining or least entertaining one that we've got. I think there's a big level of how this could go, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think I'm experiencing, I guess you would call it like cognitive dissonance with this show. Because on the one hand, they're trying to tell us this is the ESPN era, this is the biggest show, this is in the realm of a Royal Rumble, of a Survivor Series. And on the other hand, two of the biggest matches on this five-match card, the build has basically consisted of one guy saying, "I'll see you at WrestlePalooza." So I don't know what to make of that. Some of the matches have been set up, in depth, and there's been a lot to it. Even those two matches, and I'm talking about John Cena, Lesnar, and Cody Rhodes and Drew, have some background to it, but the build has been essentially nothing up to this point. With the two competitors facing off against each other, and that to me is like, I don't know. It's leading to kind of questions of what we're going to get here. I don't think there's any denying that the wrestling is probably going to be good, but once again, I have issues with some of the build.
I will say this: you said two of the bigger matches. I think we have five. We have five matches on this card. I think we have five big matches. Like I will say that, like WrestlePalooza, like these are headline matches that could headline pay-per-views by themselves. I think we have five headline type matches here. So I will say that I am excited for that.
Four, I would say four.
No,
What's the one
it's
that
the
you?
Usos, and
The,
it's
the,
the
the
Okay,
tag
okay,
team is
fair. That's fair
probably
enough.
not
That's fair
a
enough.
main
That's fair
event
enough.
match.
No, I agree with both of you there. These are marquee, big time matchups, but besides the Punk, AJ Lee, Seth, and Becky, which I have enjoyed a lot, I feel like the other feuds here kind of just non-existent.
Yeah, I think the USO build has been there, right? They've pretty much done that every single week on TV. Whether or not you're excited for it, that's a different story,
The
right? But I think they've
problem, though, I'm sorry for cutting you off. The
no, you're
problem with
good.
that is I'm excited for Jay and LA Knight now. I'm not excited for the Usos versus Braun Strowman and Braun Breaker. I know it's kind of slightly different because now Jimmy is involved. It's not the same exact thing that we've been seeing, but now we have this interesting development here where Jey Uso might be possibly turning heel to some capacity. He's on these weird phone calls, might be with Roman Reigns. We don't know who he's talking to yet, but I'm excited about what Jey Uso is doing, not this tag team match.
Well, we might as well just get into it, right? We might as well just start there. I think there's no chance that LA Knight does not get involved with this match. Like that's clearly the direction they're going. Whatever happens, I don't know. Maybe LA Knight is the one that's turning more devilish. Like clearly they're both kind of operating in that tweener land right now because they're both as fan favorite as you could have gotten before this. And I love it. I said this before the last show we did. Like, this is finally, we're getting towards some character work with Jey Uso that's beyond just eating. And I really thoroughly enjoyed it. He's done his best work as a solo competitor. It's ironic that it's coming like as he's back teaming with his brother, but he's still Jey Uso. He's still operating as sort of that lone wolf, despite them, teaming back up again. And I think for sure LA Knight is going to play into this match.
So I do think that Jimmy and Jay actually win this match. I think first time back as a tag team. I think they win this match. I think LA Knight helps them, and then I think something happens at the end. And what I mean by LA Knight helping them, I don't mean that he's actually really out there to help them. He's really out there to get back at the bronze. So yeah, I have the Usos winning this one.
I'm gonna go ahead and take the bronze here. I kind of feel pretty confident in them too. I feel like LA Knight does come out here, like Heel said previously, like you just mentioned, Frank. He finds a way to either cost Jay the match, do something to distract them at least. The Browns need a win. The Browns, especially right now, where they're temporarily removed from Seth Rollins and Paul Heyman, not Paul Heyman, but Seth Rollins, like these guys need a victory. I'll take Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Heel, who do you have?
Yeah, a similar. I'm going to go with the bronze as well. I do think LA Knight obviously comes out here. I think he probably does end up costing the Usos this match.
Next up here, one of the biggest mixed tag matches maybe ever. CM Punk and AJ Lee taking on Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. I feel like the winner here is fairly obvious, but he'll let you go first here. Who do you have winning this match and why?
Has to be CM Punk and AJ Lee. You bring AJ Lee back after a decade plus out. Nobody thought it was going to happen. And here we go. This is finally it. We talked about this at Evolution. Like, oh, this has to be where AJ Lee's going to come back. Nope. Instead it was, who knew it would be 3 or 4 months later. And here she is. The reception's been incredible. The night in Chicago, they did it. Listen, I have my issues with how much they telegraphed it. They probably could have done better with making it more of a surprise. But I mean, that cat was out of the bag real quick, and it was pretty obvious where they were going. We all joked, had it been Rhea or Bailey, the heat would have been incredible. Like they couldn't. There's no way they could have been anybody other than AJ Lee. It is. Everyone's excited for it. You kind of mentioned it earlier, Mark. The segments they've had on Raw have been entertaining. I'm looking forward to it. This kind of goes back to what Frank said earlier. Like the stakes here are not exactly apparent at the moment. I would assume that AJ's probably going to go for Becky's title after this. So that's probably where we're heading. But for this particular match, I feel like it's more just kind of crowd service and an exciting match to have on your big ESPN debut.
It's really cool how far we've come, right, with the women, where it's like I know Brock is a big return, but like that return already happened. Even though he hasn't had a match yet, like Brock made his imprint the way like Brock Lesnar does at the end of SummerSlam, right? AJ Lee is like the headliner here. Like they brought AJ Lee back to sell WWE on ESPN, and I think that's really really cool. Like I do. I think that's really cool. In terms of the match, can't disagree with the heel here. This feels like the easiest one of the night for sure. I'm interested to see where AJ Lee goes here because we do have a women's championship match on this card, and I think she'd make a great number one contender for that women's title as well. Just being back, but heel's right. The logical next step is her and Becky. We'll see what they do with her, but I'm excited. I'm less excited about the match and just more excited that she's back and moving forward. If we're being completely honest.
Yeah, that's a clean sweep for us here. I think it's pretty much a lock that CM Punk and AJ Lee win this match. AJ either pins or submits Becky Lynch as the finish of this match. I do wonder here. I think that is the next logical conclusion here. AJ Lee will probably take that Intercontinental Championship off of Becky Lynch, but how do we get a conclusion of this feud now with the four of them in this? Of course, Seth Rollins is the world champion that CM Punk wants to beat him for, but I just feel like how will we get from here to separating these four people? I'm not sure how we get there or when we get there, but that's kind of what I'm looking at now.
I don't know. I feel like as we kind of wind down this year, I feel like this rivalry is still very much going to be on the table for us. As we move forward. I don't know like if Seth is he going to defend again anytime soon? Like the title has kind of been put on the back burner, which I feel like we need to get that back into the forefront after this match. So I don't know, but it sure seems like they're locked into one another, and I don't know if that's ending anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you were to ask me right now what the two main events of WrestleMania are going to be, I think my answer would be Cody versus Roman 3 and CM Punk versus Seth Rollins.
I think I agree with that.
Maybe Punk and Rollins can main event Sunday night. I don't know. It feels like Roman Cody is just the hugest match, and we've seen it twice, and I want to see it again. To be completely honest, now that we've had a few years off from it, I think that this keeps going till WrestleMania. I think has to win the title at WrestleMania, probably in the main event of WrestleMania.
I just thought of it when you said it there. Do you think the Saudi Night 2 main event is going to be just The Rock and Roman or the three of them? Cody, Rock, and Roman?
It's so far away.
I
It's
know,
like
but
it's
you
so.
guys brought it up, so my head started spinning. I was like, it's gonna be one of the two, right?
Well, listen, we're going to Vegas this year, right? So if they wanna plant the seeds for a Rock thing, I don't even want to say his name until
That's
like
supposed to be my
I
job on this show.
this is reverse Joe Hendry right now. I don't even want to say Dwayne's name here until we actually see him because I just
What if this is the show where he should? What if
stop.
Wrestlepalooza is?
Listen,
All right,
listen,
hold
listen.
on, hold on.
We're gonna get there, but this card to me, like you said earlier, Heel, ESPN, we need something here. We need a surprise. We need something. I'm not provoking the final boss's name. That's not what's happening here. But
I'll
also,
do it. I'll do
maybe
it when we get there because
I just
I think we've already been told that Cena and Lesnar are main eventing this show, which to me is like I don't know. We'll get there, but to answer your question, or I don't even want to talk. I don't want to touch WrestleMania Saudi. I did want to say though, going back to what Frank was saying, that Punk has kind of already ripped the Saudi Band-Aid off. So the idea, the thought of him now being in that Royal Rumble, because we got to do the Royal Rumble in Saudi before we do WrestleMania in Saudi. He's obviously now going to be competing there for the Royal Rumble. The door is definitely open for this to just continue to WrestleMania. I kind of hope it doesn't. I kind of hope they both find something to do before then. We can go back and revisit if that's really what they want to do. But I mean, we're 6 months out still, more from WrestleMania. So, I mean, this is becoming like Live in Rio all over again.
we'll move away now from the Punk and AJ situation onto the Women's Championship. Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer. This is kind of a weird one for me. I feel like Stephanie should probably be the favorite, but this could go either way.
Yeah, I mean, we can't give this belt back to Io, right? I don't know. I mean, we can, but we also can't. Like, I don't know. She didn't defend it against anyone but Rhea. So, I mean, theoretically, if we're going to give it back to Io, that's fine. And then we don't have Rhea. At least we could do Stephanie and Rhea. And we know that that's what they like to do is just put Rhea in all of these matches. So, I don't know. If you're willing to keep Rhea out of championship matches, then you could give the belt back to Io. But I don't think they're willing to do that. So, I'm going to take Stephanie.
This is so weird because Stephanie was like red hot, and then like up until like last week, she was. I think they said she wasn't in front of the live crowd for over a month on Monday Night Raw. She was only doing backstage segments. I don't know what happened. I don't know. Maybe she got hurt. Maybe she was sick or something. I have no idea. But it's just very bizarre. This whole thing since the Naomi announcement has been. This was supposed to happen at Clash in Paris. So I feel like we never really got an answer as to why it didn't. I don't know if it was just too rushed after the Naomi situation. Regardless, I do think Io is winning this back. I think
Ooh.
Stephanie was the hottest name. I picked her to win that battle royale to get this original match. I don't know if she was going to beat Naomi. I think her facing off against Io makes it a little bit more likely that she wins, but I do think Io wins. I think Io probably just ends up keeping the title. They probably realize they really screwed up the first time they did this, or the last time they did this, I should say, and give her an actual title run this time. Figure out something to do with Rhea, keep her away, or you can maybe tease it. But I feel like we're barreling towards Io versus Rhea again at WrestleMania. I know you two don't want to hear this. That's probably where they eventually have Rhea finally get over the hurdle of beating Io Sky. They've made it such a big deal at this point that I feel like you have to do it there. I
I
feel like at this
mean,
point that is a WrestleMania match.
that's probably a crown jewel Perth, not WrestleMania, right?
Both of these scenarios here, we're giving the belt to Io so she can be used as a
Transitional champion.
stepping stone
Six
to get
months is
to
not a
Rhea.
transitional champion.
Are we that far away from Perth?
I said WrestleMania. You said Perth.
Okay.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
Okay.
I
Does
don't think
Rhea have any value as a character, not as the champion? I don't understand why we have to keep going back to the Rhea well.
Speaking of, I mean, Rhea's
they don't.
phenomenal, but speaking of that, because I was going to question this, because I do agree with you, Frank, that I'm not excited about this belt going back on Io Sky. They've had the opportunities there. I'm not saying it hasn't worked, but they've done a poor job presenting her as the champion. But my kind of counterpart here is I know Stephanie Vaquer is a great wrestler. What else do I know about her? I know nothing about this person, this character. Does she need a mouthpiece? Does she need a faction? Like, I don't know anything about this person that's about to be the champion.
Yeah, I mean they're selling the Devil's Kiss. Truthfully, like that is what they're selling. Like
No, it's
that
fair.
That's what the and it's not just the devil's kiss. Like, she is a really great wrestler.
Yep.
But that's what people know about her. They know about Booker's reaction to the whole entire thing, and like, people love it. So they should ride the wave. They should do what they didn't do with LA Knight. They should do what they got squeamish about doing with Jey Uso, and then didn't go all in with. They've had these chances at their fingertips, and a chance to do these things, and they haven't gone all in. Let's see what happens. It's okay if in a month or so it's not working out with Stephanie, then we can change course. They can always change course, but they only have so many chances to capture lightning in the bottle, and if they don't take them, she's gonna get stale, just like LA Knight kind of got stale, and just like Jey Uso kind of got stale until coincidentally they found each
I
other.
mean, LA got stale, but what is he now? He's as big as he's ever been right
No,
now.
it's true, but again, he had to rebuild himself up. Like, instead of putting her in the position where she has to rebuild herself up.
Stephanie's not where LA Knight was though.
No, but she's the female equivalent to. My thing with Io is I can't wrap my head around what's going to be different about this championship reign. They had her from WrestleMania to, what was it,
I
SummerSlam,
can't tell you.
or the pay per view before SummerSlam,
I
and
can't tell
she
you.
and it was one defense. And so why should I be why are they
All
going to do
right.
anything different with her?
All right, well,
That's
how about
my
this? You have AJ Lee in the mix now. Let's say she takes the belt off of Becky. That leaves Becky as the top heel on the women's side on both brands, right? I mean, you need a big baby face. In theory, it could be either of these two women. I'm not saying that there's no shot that Stephanie wins this, but I think Io versus Becky for one or two pay-per-views is big time. Like, there's a path towards actually giving her a legitimate title reign this time around. I don't know. They could go a number of different ways. It doesn't. It feels like they've. And then you have Raquel and Roxanne too, who are growing and are much more in the mix than you thought they might be at this point in time. I don't know. I truly don't know either way what the future beholds for either of these two if they become champion here. But in my heart of hearts, I just think it's going to be Io.
It's kind of just the same grouping. I think we've been talking about a shakeup or a draft for so long now, and it's just we're getting the same, and we're talking about it. We're saying like if Io wins, they're gonna eventually do the match again with Rhea, and I believe you. I believe that would be the plan if Io wins this match.
Two things. Two things. One, I do agree with Frank, but I also think Rhea and their lack of ability to do anything different with her is a bigger issue. Number two, unfortunately, I do think this goes back to them creating two women's mid card championships, and there not really being enough of a mid card division on either show at this point. Obviously, Becky is like, it's a different stratosphere than what Julia is on the other show, but like, it doesn't feel like there's enough of a dichotomy of, okay, these are your women's mid carders, and then these are your women's main eventers. Maybe more so on SmackDown, but on Raw, it's like, why does the Intercontinental title feel bigger than the women's championship right now? And it's like, well, if I'm a woman on Raw, I want to go against Becky Lynch. She's telling everybody, Sports Illustrated says it, she's the best women's wrestler of all time. And so it's like, that I feel like is also impacting what we're thinking about this title and its future. And again, it goes back to everything we just said about Rhea and it getting stale. I don't know. There's an issue. There's a larger issue that I don't know is necessarily easy to solve.
My prediction: I will take Stephanie McCare to win this match. I also think on Monday she'll have a manager. She'll have somebody talking for her. That's my prediction of the matter. But let's move on here to Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Championship. Heel, you said the John Cena and Brock match was said to be main eventing, so I'd assume this opens up the night, probably, Cody and Drew?
I mean, they could pick any match, but like you said, the Usos and the Brawns to open up. And honestly, I could see that match opening things up. I don't know.
That
Like
could, yeah, that could.
yeah.
I don't
Honestly,
know.
though, as I say that, the Punk match is probably bigger than this match, right?
I don't think this leads the show. No.
I think they lead with AJ Lee. I think AJ Lee's music is the first thing that hits. I think that's probably the best way to go, and really get the crowd fired up, especially if that's not main eventing, which obviously it's not.
I would love if Drew won this match. Would love it. I think that would be phenomenal. I don't think
I think
there's
we all would, right?
I 100% agree with you. And I love Cody. Like, Cody's great. I love Cody, but it would be cool. It would be so cool. It would be so different. And Drew needs a championship. That being said, he's not going to, and you know that.
But this is an opportunity for one of those big shocks on this show that doesn't look like there's going to be a lot of big shocks. I don't know if they want Cody Rhodes losing in their first kind of presentation of him with ESPN, but it would be really good if they had Drew win this match.
I mean, what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't lose? He gets screwed. I mean, what if? What if?
Say it. Say it.
What if the final boss is there?
There were times where we thought The Rock would be like with Drew, right? Wasn't there like rumors about that at some point?
Yes, so that he was the reported like the only option to be his champion if that was going to happen at Elimination Chamber. I mean, no one thought it was going to be John Cena, right? So it's like, all right, if he has a champion, it's probably Drew.
I think
And obviously,
the ultimate idea that they came up with, and this was in the Netflix doc to screw Cody over, was the title was going to go to Kevin Owens earlier that
Kevin
night,
Owens,
right?
yeah,
That was the big thing. But I think after WrestleMania, it was Drew was the name that kept circling. But I feel like Dwayne's been linked to every wrestler that's like been like mid card and up. Like we're gonna start seeing his name with Otis pretty soon. Anything to just get him back into the picture.
what if somehow this is on the fly. What if somehow Randy Orton comes out try in an attempt to help Cody, but something goes awry and he accidentally attacks Cody, or there's a steel chair, Drew ducks, something like that, and he hits Cody, and Randy Orton costs Cody Rhodes the WWE Championship. That to me makes for such a more interesting dynamic. With now you have Drew as champion, you could take the belt off him before WrestleMania. He doesn't have to be a long-term champion, but now you have this dynamic between Randy and Cody. Something was already building there at the King of the Ring finals. You can flesh that out. You start to tease a heel turn from one of them. I mean, it doesn't have to be Cody. Maybe Randy starts turning, but either way, you start to tease to flesh that out a little bit, and things are just so much more interesting in that trio.
I think that'd be really awesome. Heel, I feel like that's maybe our only scenario to get this belt off of Cody on Saturday. It could just be a true heel turn. It doesn't even have to be like a screwy, weird thing where he hits him by accident. It could be a ref bump. Randy comes out. You think he's out there to help Cody, and he takes him out. It could be something like that.
Sure,
Um, I
we haven't had heel Randy in years.
yeah, I don't think Drew gets pinned. I think either there's a disqualification finish and Cody retains, or Drew wins. I think they will protect Drew here. I feel like he needs to be protected in some capacity. Unfortunately, I will take Cody to retain here. Frank, who do you have?
I agree 100%. I think whoever wins this match, they are getting the loser is getting protected very strongly. But I got to take Cody here. I'm just hearing Michael Cole tell the entire sports world that that is the WWE's equivalent of quarterback one, and I just can't see QB1 losing this match on ESPN,
This is tough because of I think where I'm going to go with the next match. But I'm going to take Drew. I will take Drew. This is like I said before, they're hyping this up as a big four, now a big five. I think they need something like this to happen. I think this is a good time for it. It completely shakes up where things go next, and no one will have any idea what's going to happen next. Like you said, you can still keep Cody very strong at this point. And you know what? You can play into the fact that Cody Rhodes wasn't there for a month after winning this championship. He's not prepared. He hasn't had his eye on the prize. I think there's a very realistic way to set this up to have it make sense. And I know you can probably argue, well, SummerSlam was a waste. Why give it back to Cody? Yada, yada, yada. I don't care. SummerSlam match was great. This will be great if it goes to Drew. I'll pick Drew.
I love it. I hope you're right. And for our possible main event here, we have John Cena taking on Brock Lesnar. I'm excited for this match. I'm a little bit nervous for this match for John's sake. I feel like things might get a little bit out of hand. But Heel, you start off first here with John and Brock. What do you think?
I would like Brock Lesnar to win this match. I think Brock Lesnar should win this match. As I've said previously on this program, I would like to see some sort of adversity for John Cena. I know you could say just facing Brock Lesnar is adversity, and it is, but I, I want him to fight over climb some mountain, fight over some mountain before he leaves. And he's only got like 5 appearances left. And at this point, my expectations couldn't be lower. It seems like he's just going out there to cut fan service promos that are mostly intended for the people who are in the building. I watched his promo. They went to his hometown where he played college, and like they had Raw there specifically for this moment, and he cut like a 10-minute white bread little crowd service promo that to me just did nothing. I mean, it didn't really further any storyline. Brock Lesnar was not there. Nobody else came out. And it's just, to me, it's like you have only one opportunity to do a John Cena farewell tour, and nothing really that interesting is coming from it. That should be must watch, must tune in every single time he's on your TV. And to me, it just hasn't really been. If he loses this match, it at least gives you something to fight for his last like 2 or 3 matches, whatever it's going to be. I don't really care.
I don't think we have time for that though, in the sense of
Yeah, you're
breaking
probably
down
right.
John Cena to build him back up. I think we're at a point now where the adversity from a character standpoint was the heel turn, and now the adversity from an in-ring standpoint will be Brock Lesnar. I hear what you're saying. I just think with the 7 or 8 whatever dates he has left, we can't really knock him down a peg to build him back up in this like heroic way.
I think when we sit here and we look at this last month and a half, 2 months, and how it's going to go, I think that the story that they're trying to tell is that he's done. He's got nothing left. And I think a battle with Brock Lesnar and then a trip to War Games could really get that point home, where it's like John's now spent since SummerSlam giving that match with Cody was awesome. The match with Logan, I know we haven't talked about it here on this show, but we've talked about it privately. Awesome match with Logan. I think him and Brock are going to put on an awesome match. I'm a little nervous for John's health. Honestly, I need to see him cross the finish line. So please don't hurt him, Brock. But I think it's going to be an awesome match. I think he's going to head into War Games, and I don't know, possibly maybe he even starts for his team in War Games. I think we're really selling the fact that John Cena is giving every last thing he has in this last run. It doesn't matter who's in front of him. It doesn't matter what match it's in. He's going to go out with a bang, and I think it sets up really nicely for him to be exhausted going into that last match and giving it his all. And then he can come out short. You know what I mean? He can come up short and, take that moment to sink in that loss and do things the right way and put whoever his challenger is over in a big way and really leave on the terms that he wanted to leave on. So for that reason, I am going to take John Cena to win this match, but it is going to be he's not going to dominate this match. It's not going to be back and
No.
forth like Cody. He is going to get beaten up quite a bit, and I think then he's going to overcome, rise above, as he might say.
Yeah, I think John is going to sell a lot for Brock. I think Brock will dominate the majority of the match until John goes on his little hot run. I've said it before. I think John is going to run through everyone. It's not that many people left, but run through everyone, win every match until he puts over Dominic Mysterio on his last night with the company. That's my head. That's where I'm at right now. I think that's the path. I mentioned it. So do you guys have an idea? Do you guys have a new prediction on who you think his final guy will be? As I just said, Dom.
I was kind of leaning in the Drew area. Obviously, I think if my prediction comes true, it's probably not going to end up being Drew, but I like Dom. I like that choice. I think Braun Breaker was a popular one that I at this point I kind of don't see, but there's a chance. I mean, I don't know. I also think there's a chance John Cena wins his last match too.
Yeah, I mean, Dom, I'd love that. I would love Braun Breaker. Drew McIntyre would be great. I know Gunther was the rumor for a really long time. I don't think Gunther really needs it. I think Gunther's just already established himself as a force. I don't think Drew really needs it either. I think Drew's really established himself as a force. So I'd rather see someone younger and take him out. But if I had to put money on it right now, I'd say Drew McIntyre is probably the best person to do it. I think he's got that evil, conniving way about him that he would revel in that victory. But you made a good point the other night, Mark, when we were just kind of talking about it. Imagine Dom Mysterio can say for the next 20 years, because he's that young, that he beat John Cena, he retired John Cena. I mean, that would be a super mega awesome push for
It
him.
would be
So
incredible heel heat for the duration of his career.
yeah,
That it would
yeah,
be a skyrocket. He'd be the world champion within a handful of months from
yeah.
that point on. It's
That's his Chris Jericho. I beat The Rock and Stone Cold on the same night. Like he can literally do that, and it has that gravitas, that weight, like that same weight.
I did hear someone predict that it could be Chris Jericho.
if it's Chris
I wouldn't
Jericho,
hate it.
then he's going to win the match. John's going to win if it's Chris
But yeah,
Jericho.
no, I could definitely see
It
Chris
co-
Jericho losing to John Cena.
or you have that like that. If that's Chris Jericho, like you do it. You do one last John Cena Open challenge, and who answers it? But break the
Oh,
walls
that
down.
you can't have that because you need to advertise the match in advance, and you can't have a shock surprise
John,
be like
John Cena's last match.
Nah, yeah, no,
I think there's a very real there's a chance, and whoever it is, that it is an open challenge. I don't think
it
that
can't
comes
be.
to
It
it.
can't be an open challenge
Why?
because
no. If it's John Cena's last match, it doesn't matter who it is.
It
You're
could absolutely
Mark.
be an
You
open
you you
challenge.
feverishly do not want it to be Gunther, right? Like you very
yeah,
badly do
I
not
don't
want
want
it.
Gunther. No,
You're still watching the match,
I'm gonna watch any John Cena final
but
match.
that's the point. Like it doesn't have to be
No, no,
revealed.
no. But the point is, they need to. But you want to build it though. What is he just gonna? He's gonna cut a
He's not
promo.
going to be
It's
there.
John Cena's last match builds itself. No,
He's not. I don't think he's. Look at the dates. He's not going to be there. There's no build for this. The build for John Cena matches is over. Go back to the 2010s if you want to watch those.
I
We're
mean
no
I
longer building John Cena matches. Unfortunately, they've proven that to be true this whole year, and he has like 5 dates left. 3 of those or 4 of those are pay-per-views.
yeah.
I
He's
think
going to.
you're playing a really dangerous game though if it is an open challenge where there is a small list of people. Chris Jericho is one of them that would live up to the hype. Otherwise, like it would not be. If I'm trying to like, I don't even know. I
But
don't know.
think about if you're in that crowd, and I know the rumor is now it's going to be DC. Think if you're in that Washington DC crowd, John Cena's out there. It's already been announced this is going to be an open challenge for his last match, and you're the crowd. You're sitting there waiting, and you know that I mean the crowd is just going to be excited to boo whoever the hell it is that comes out there. I mean, they could just hit Dom's music, and it would be insane. Like
So that would be underwhelming for me, and I want Dom to be the guy. But if we hype up an open challenge and it's Dominic Mysterio who answers it, that's not okay for me.
I agree that if we're going open
how?
challenge route, it's got to be someone we haven't seen.
That has to
And
be like
Mark, it could be Gunther. Like we haven't seen if we haven't seen Gunther since SummerSlam, like, and then he has an open challenge, like it
It could
absolutely
be.
could be
It
Gunther.
could be.
But it's got to be someone we haven't seen for a long time, and
if it's an
or
open challenge, it needs to be The Rock, Chris Jericho, or Roman Reigns.
Joe
Oh,
Hendry.
I disagree. I totally disagree.
It's got to be like the highest of highest surprises. Like it's got to be crazy.
I think you can set it up as like a world champion is challenging John Cena, and I mean he could still have that AAA belt. Like I think you could really tease it like it's gonna be one of those guys, and all of a sudden it's Dom's music, and that adds to the heat. People might be upset to see Dom, but then they realize like, oh, we also hate this guy too. I don't know. It could happen. It could go your way too. Like they could do whatever they want with this. Honestly, this year has shown me that they're not really probably even thinking of this stuff, to be honest with you, because everything they've done has been underwhelming to me.
You're
So
saying they don't have somebody picked out to be this last guy?
no,
No,
I don't
no
think so.
shot. Okay.
You think they 100% know who it is right now? I
I
don't.
think that there's a list of 2 or 3 guys right now on the
Yeah.
billboard, and I think that they have a name circled that could be uncircled very easily and circle one of
Sure,
the other two
sure.
names.
But I
I
don't think it's
do I think they
penciled.
have one guy set? No, not right now. But do I think that there are like 2 or 3 names that they've come to the conclusion that these are going to be the guys? Yes, I do think that.
To go back to WrestlePalooza, because we've gotten a little bit away from that. If indeed this is the main event, and again, we've talked about how big they're hyping up this show. Do you think it could just end with John Cena winning a singles match over Brock Lesnar? Like, doesn't something have to happen? Shouldn't this show end with, even if John Cena wins, shouldn't it end with him on his ass?
I mean, if you remember during Roman's like crazy run, at the end of all the big pay-per-views, someone's music would hit. His next challenger would hit. So I would assume that we have to get at least that at the conclusion of this match, where maybe the guy takes out John, maybe the guy just walks out to the ramp. But I would think we get a big surprise at the end of this night to confront Cena.
I've been saying it for months now, and I don't know. Mark might remember me saying it. I don't know. But what I really want for Cena at Survivor Series is I want to see a group of guys. Like I'd love to see him like beat Brock. Brock walks out there. John's having his moment in front of the crowd, and a group of maybe like younger guys, although not too young. Like I don't know. I don't know who it would be, but like a group of guys come out there and beat up John Cena, and John Cena now, after turning heel against his buddies, CM Punk and Randy Orton, now has to recruit them onto his War Games team. We have Team Cena versus this team that's tried to take him out of his career early. I don't know. That's what I'd like to see. But so I could get behind that. But if it's just gonna be a solo match at War Games, I feel like I'm gonna be a little disappointed.
Yeah, but we still have Crown Jewel. Don't forget that.
Okay, is he wrestling at Crown Jewel?
Yes, he's going to
Okay.
be in Australia. They've already
Okay,
announced
so
that.
then yeah,
So
someone's music can hit there too.
So it's Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns' music hits the end of the show. He confronts Cena.
I would I would love for
I,
it to still be AJ Styles, even though they said it's not happening. Like,
yeah, I would like that, but I feel like when he did the Styles Clash, that kind of like
yeah, it's not happening.
I mean, he also did the Big Dog. Oh no, he did the Edge Spear.
Yeah.
It was declared the Big Dog Spear. Mark, I could see it. I absolutely could see that. I mean, that's as big as it gets, and it would
I
be tough
really
to
I wanted both Roman and Seth to be involved in his final run, and they could be. Roman could have the one off there, and then Seth could have the big War Games match.
all my only issue with that is they really sold the fact that he had broken ribs and all this stuff. I mean, we're only like 3 weeks removed from that. I don't know. That's the only thing that makes me think that maybe not. But
I
I don't
mean,
know. I hope it's somebody. I hope something happens.
I think your Chris Jericho theory about him being the surprise in the challenge in the last match, that could hit at Saturday too. You could it could be the same thing. Just stares him down. I don't know. I don't
Honestly, I
know
would,
if
I would pop hard if that happened. I
it
don't know if
could.
he's even free
I
yet
was
or
gonna
what
say,
the
I think Jericho's
details
under
there.
contract until December.
Yeah,
Okay, is it December? Okay.
I don't know if anyone actually knows, but I think that was the wording of it. But
They were talking about him being available for the Rumble in January.
yeah, so I mean that makes way more sense. But yeah, I mean otherwise it's like I don't think Kevin Owens is cleared.
No.
I don't there are very few names at this
Final
point in
boss.
time. Yeah,
Say it.
even I
Say it.
can't condone that. I think it's way more likely he's going to be on the Cody side of things going forward than the Cena side of things.
But back to the official prediction. Frank, you took John. I will take John as well. Heel, you want Brock, but are you picking Brock?
Yes, I'm going to pick Brock Lesnar. I think it's unlikely, but I think it should be Brock, and I will pick Brock.
All right. I think this is gonna be a really good show, actually. Hopefully we do have that fun surprise we're kind of alluding to at the end of the show. But hopefully everyone enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and let's have some fun at WrestlePalooza.